CES in Las Vegas is upon us, and we're going to cover all the new laptop tech. In this video, I'm going to walk you through Asus's updated line of consumer laptops for 2025. Asus was a great partner last year. They released several of our favorite laptops, including the ProArt series, the ZenBook 14, and the Zephyrus G16. Oh my goodness, it's Zephyrus. I always mispronounce that one. Anyway, because of this, I was happy to have Asus on board as a sponsor so that we can walk you through their updated line of laptops. In 2025, Asus will be continuing with their two main lines of consumer laptops, their ZenBook line, which leans more premium, and then their VivoBook line, which leans more budget. You may have noticed some overlap in 2024. We certainly did. For example, some VivoBooks were priced higher than some ZenBooks, at least here in the USA. There's two reasons for this. The first is the way that Asus works with its retail partners. For example, retailers order the configurations they want to sell. Some retailers just happen to order higher spec versions of VivoBooks, which cause them to overlap with the pricing of ZenBooks. And then, within each of these ranges, there are some cheaper models and then there are some more expensive ones, which I'm about to get into. I'm going to start with the ZenBooks, and then I'm going to walk my way down to the VivoBooks. But before I do, I just want to give you a quick rehash of the consumer processors available for Windows laptops in 2025. There are a lot of updates, and these laptops come with a variety of them. From Intel, there are two main ranges. The Core Ultra Series 2 Lunar Lake, which is for low-powered thinner light laptops. Then there is the new Core Ultra Series 2 Arrow Lake H and HX, which are for larger, more powerful laptops. When it comes to AMD, there are also two main ranges for consumer laptops using their Zen 5 processor designs. The new Ryzen 7 Kraken Point, which is for laptops requiring mid-range performance, and Ryzen 9 Strix Point, which came out in 2024 and is for more powerful laptops. Any laptop, by the way, being updated to a current-gen Intel or AMD processor will bring with it more powerful integrated GPUs, particularly for those with Intel processors, which have the best integrated graphics for Windows laptops, at least from what we've tested so far. This may be important to you if you want to do some, say, light gaming or maybe some video editing, as most of these consumer laptops, including the ones from Asus, they don't have powerful dedicated GPUs inside. When it comes to Qualcomm, they continue to have their Snapdragon X processors, starting with their newly announced Base X processor. This one delivers extremely basic performance but draws very little power and will be found in more affordable laptops. Then their processors go up to the X Plus and X Elite for more mid-range performance machines. Let's start with the ZenBook 14. This is the thicker of the two ZenBook 14s, the thinner one being the ZenBook S14. In 2025, the ZenBook 14 is going to be upgraded with Intel or AMD's latest processors, either a Core Ultra Series 2, Ultra 7 or 9 processor from the Arrow Lake H range. That version of the ZenBook 14 will come with the same 3K OLED 120Hz display as the higher-end Intel SKU did from last year. These models start with the UX3 designation so that you know that they are the Intel variant. They will be priced at $999 for the Ultra 7 and $1,299 for the Ultra 9. Then there is an AMD version of the ZenBook 14, which will be available with AMD's Kraken Point. That is the lower-end version of the Zen 5 Strix Point processor, which I mentioned earlier. Basically, it's Ryzen 7 versus Ryzen 9. It will have a Full HD OLED display at 60Hz. This is essentially the replacement for the Walmart SKU, which was one of our most recommended laptops from 2024. That's for those on a tighter budget, as it was sold for around $800 and gave you a somewhat premium laptop for a mainstream price. The AMD version uses the UM3 model designation and it starts around $1,000, but hopefully we'll see some sales. Finally, both the Intel and AMD versions now come with Wi-Fi 7. If you're wondering what's happening with the ZenBook S14 and 16, the thinner ones with that stylish cerulean lid, I have one right here, the 14-inch will continue to be sold with the same Lunar Lake processor as it was in 2024. The 16-inch will still be sold with AMD Zen 5 Strix Point chips, but it is getting an option for Kraken Point as well as an Intel version. Next up is the ZenBook A14, which is new this year. The A designation refers to it being super light like air. The device weighs under 1 kilogram, making it the lightest model in the ZenBook lineup. It has a full cerulean chassis. This makes it look stylish, feel premium, and adds additional properties such as scratch and smudge resistance. It uses a very efficient Qualcomm Snapdragon processor, up to an X Elite internationally, but in the US market it will come with either an X Plus 42100 or the newly announced X Base. The processors found in the US model specifically are suitable for people that are sticking to light computing applications like web browsing, office applications, and that sort of thing, but nothing more. Overall, this is a laptop for folks who want one that feels premium, is portable, has a unique aesthetic, and just doesn't cost too much money. Plus, I'm actually pretty interested to see how long this laptop lasts on battery. It really has all the ingredients for long battery life. It has a large 70 watt-hour battery, its screen is lower resolution at 1920 by 1200, and its processor sips power. In the US, it's releasing mid-January for the lower Snapdragon X base config and late March for the X Plus one. Next is the ZenBook Duo, Asus's dual-screen laptop. It's a very unique device that was launched last year. The keyboard deck can be lifted off the laptop to reveal a second 14-inch display. The laptop is then used with the two screens stacked on top of each other, made possible by the attached kickstand. Then, you place the keyboard trackpad deck in front of it and it connects wirelessly. We published a video comparing all of these dual-screen laptops, and we found that this one was the most useful. It won because of its varied port selection and the fact that it can be used like a regular laptop. You see, its keyboard deck can be placed on top of the bottom screen, and it charges via pogo pins. This makes it a very versatile machine. In 2025, the Duo is being updated with a high-end Arrow Lake Ultra 9 285H CPU. That should deliver significant performance and graphics improvements. Also, Wi-Fi has been updated to Wi-Fi 7. Now, the display remains the same, both of them are 3K OLED 120Hz panel, that's at least for the initial launch. Pricing here in the USA also appears to be unchanged at $1,700 for the top of the range model. That one comes with 32GB of memory and 1TB of storage. Beware, some of the configs of the Duo do have a lower resolution screen, 1920 by 1200 at 120Hz. For example, the slightly cheaper $1,600 model, which will be available at the Asus store and comes with an Ultra 7 255H processor. Sierra's now here to walk you through the VivoBooks.
Thanks, Josh. Within the VivoBook range, there are 3 sets of laptops for people at various budget levels. The most budget-friendly is an all-plastic model labeled simply as the VivoBook 14 or 16. At a slightly higher budget is the VivoBook S14 or 16. The S designation, just like on the ZenBooks, means it is a thin laptop. Within the S VivoBooks, there are also 2 types. A more affordable version, one that Asus refers to as the sandwich model. It has a metal outer shell with a plastic palm rest. And then there is the nicer version, which has an all-metal chassis, including the palm rest. The plastic VivoBooks with 14 or 16-inch displays start around $699, which firmly places them as budget laptops. They will be sold with a variety of processors. They are first launching with the new Snapdragon X for people requiring very little performance. Those model numbers will start with an X1. Then there will be AMD's Kraken point for more mid-range performance, model numbers starting with M1. Lastly, there will be a higher-powered Intel Arrow Lake model starting with S1. We don't have much information on this model yet. These laptops will all come with an IPS Full HD 60Hz display. One thing I'm interested to test is battery life. The AMD version includes a 42 watt-hour battery, while the Qualcomm variant features a slightly larger 50 watt-hour one. Normally, I'd be concerned about competitive battery life with smaller batteries like these, but in this case, it may still be quite decent. This new Snapdragon processor is likely to have a very low power draw, and these laptops both have lower resolution displays, which also draw less power than high-resolution ones. Obviously, we'll have to get both these in for testing, though, to confirm this. Now we're going to talk about the more expensive of the VivoBooks, the VivoBook S. It's still considered mid-range amongst all consumer laptops, though. The VivoBook S comes in both a 14 and 16-inch chassis, and there are 2 versions to be aware of. Outside the US, there will be a model available with a metal outer shell and a plastic palm rest. In the US, there will only be one slightly more premium version with an all-metal chassis. That one will come with Intel's Core Ultra Series 2 Arrow Lake H and AMD's Ryzen 7 or 9 processors. The Intel models start with the designation S5 in their model number, whereas the AMD models start with M5. The 14-inch version has a full HD 60Hz OLED display, and the 16-inch has a 3K 120Hz OLED display. All of them include a 75 watt-hour battery. Next up is the 2-in-1 version of the VivoBook known as the Flip. It has a plastic chassis with a metal lid. It's nice to see Asus offering this, as they used to have a ZenBook Flip that was discontinued in 2024. A lot of viewers have asked about it. The VivoBook Flip will be offered with Intel's Lunar Lake chips and comes in both a 14-inch and 16-inch version. The displays line up with the VivoBook S models, where the 14-inch is full HD 60Hz OLED and the 16-inch has a 3K 120Hz OLED. Both of them support pen. The 14-inch has a 70 watt-hour battery and the 16 a larger 75 watt-hour. The 14-inch starts at $899 and the 16 starts at $1099. The last VivoBook that will be available in mid-February is the VivoBook Pro 15. This appears to be marketed to creators and professionals. It will come with an Arrow Lake Ultra 9 285H and an NVIDIA RTX 4050. It has 24 gigs of memory and 1 terabyte of storage, as well as a 3K OLED 120Hz screen and a 75 watt-hour battery. It comes in at $1,400. We feel this will be a solid deal when it's on sale.
Thanks, Sierra. Overall, most of these updates are clearly spec bumps from prior years, other than the A14 of course, which is new. That being said, since most haven't upped their pricing, you'll just get more for your money. In 2024, there were solid sales on Asus's consumer range of laptops, which made them very competitively priced. If 2025 continues that trend, these updated and new laptops are likely to offer great values for many of you guys, our viewers. On that note, make sure to get subscribed with the notification bell on because we, of course, are going to get all these laptops in for review over the next couple of months. We do have a second video coming out which will cover Asus's fully updated range of ROG gaming laptops. That video will cover their redesigned Strix Scar with NVIDIA RTX 50 series as well as the Flow Z13. That one is a gaming tablet which is one of the first we've seen with AMD's brand new Strix Halo processor. That's the processor with a powerful integrated GPU. If you're looking to buy a laptop right now and you want to see which ones we recommend for specific types of use cases at various different budget levels, our website is the place to go. You'll find it at justjosh.tech. It's quickly becoming the hub for laptop buying. Till next time, go do something awesome with your day and we will catch you later.